Hello, this is Michael with Sac City Property Management, and at this time I'd like to talk about my contact management system within my application. So let's open up the application by double-clicking the icon, and this is my data file. So let's quickly change over to a sample file so I don't screw up my data. Nothing personal, but go to the folder, sample data. Let's go ahead and connect up those files, give it a minute to hook up. And we're now attached to the sample database. Let's log in, main menu. Now I've got my contact management set up over in this corner, and I have a many-to-many relationship between organizations and people, and my organizations are tenant groups, owners, vendors, that kind of thing. And then I have individual people who relate to the groups, and a person can relate to multiple groups. So I could have Joe Tenant, who has a tenancy. He may also work for a subcontractor. He may be a vendor. So it can be a fairly convoluted list of relationships, but we're set up to be able to handle all those convolutions. And I have two primary ways of dealing with adding groups or contacts. I can add in manually the group and then assign people to the group, or I can do a quick add if I have somebody who I'm just adding in quickly and don't expect to deal with, or if I just want to add them in and update their information later. The other is that all my billing is done at a group level, and all my payments are made and received at a point of contact level. So I make my payments to individuals. So let's go ahead and add a new group right now. And so let's open up the group menu, select new, and then we can type in 123 main, and then Joe Tenant. And that's typically how I do it, is I put their address first and then their contact name to set up their tenancy. I can put in their address, 123 Main Street, and then select a type as a tenant. And that's setting up a group very quickly. Okay, now then, once that's done, I can go over to my contact group, and here it is here, and I've got a slider so I can search through and find individual people. But let's go over here and just quickly add a new tenant, and this was Joe Tenant we are setting up. Joe, tab, tenant. And that's set up there, and I'm going to copy and paste, although I'll automate this later. And then I have an application name down here, and the application name is just a name that's used within the application to segregate. This has to be unique, and there cannot be any duplicates. So if Joe Tenant is a tenant, then that's fine. If he works for a vendor or a subcontractor, then I'll have to annotate that onto here so that I can find out which he is. But let's just set it up here, and then we can add in his group, which was, what was it, 123 Joe Tenant Main. So there he is there. Okay, and that's it for quickly setting it up. And if I wanted to, I could add in his address, and I could do some other things as well, email address. If I want to see any correspondence from the tenant, then that would show up there. So that's the standard way of adding a tenant. But let's also go ahead and go back to the main menu, and we had a quick add feature here where I can set up a new tenancy as well. And let's go ahead and set up another subcontractor, or I mean another tenant, and let's call this one Sarah. Her first name Sarah, last name Smith. And then what it did is it put in an app name of Sarah Smith, and it put in a group name of Sarah Smith, and we could leave that as is, or we could update it as we want. 123 main Sarah Smith as well. Actually 1234, she's not sharing the tenant. So there. So now it's 1234 Sarah Smith would be our group name, and quick add, and that's done. And then we can go over to our group menu, and hey, look, there she is, Sarah Smith. Pull it up. It's got her app name already set up. It's got her group name there. We could put in her address if we wanted that easily, and everything's hyperlinked, so we can go over to her point of contact, and here she is, Sarah Smith. That's good. And if we wanted to add her to another group that's already established, we could come down here and select it, and let's say that she works at Target as well, and that's there. And then we can go and then we'll just put in Target, so that way if we deal with her in that basis, then we could, Sarah Smith Target would be her app name for that. So that's how hard it is to set up a tenant. Okay, talk to you later. Bye bye.